They just have to stump it.
Go. I think we have a crap ton to get done within
Yes.
30 minutes. So it is probably Jason's supposed to be talking, but it's March 13th and we're at 6:30 and we're at something, a committee as a whole.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you guys start, but if this does go into 7 o'clock by a couple minutes, let's just keep going because I do
Yeah.
want to make sure that I address planning and zoning before the end of, and it's very simple. We have a couple planning and zoning things, so let's do those at the end. And maybe we really kind of, I don't know. But mine is about members, appointing members, and it's actually on the agenda, so I want to talk about it before we get done.
Okay.
And now Jason,
So just roll call real quick. We have Councilperson Bryant, Councilperson Cost, Councilperson Martin, Councilperson Passion, Councilperson McNamara, myself, Councilperson Camera, Mayor Southern, and our fiscal officer, Mr. Wilczek. Got it right today. And, okay, this is committee as a whole, so I guess we're doing all committees tonight. Finance is here, so let's start.
Okay, I have a few things.
Sorry, what?
no. The other thing is, we did do all of the committees also on Thursday.
talked to
So
them,
if
yeah.
we can hit them all here and just kind of do it. I know he had stuff,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't honestly think we're gonna do much because the rest of them aren't here.
Right.
Okay. There's an ordinance requesting increase in appropriations or amendments to the appropriation because there's one decrease. I did send out an email to everybody with the explanation. If you want me to go through it, I can. If the explanations are fine, or if you've got questions, I'm more than happy to answer.
I'm good.
Okay.
Everyone good? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. A couple other things. Mike Flickinger submitted 2 additional task orders. The first one deals with the master plan for pedestrian pathways for $20,500. Essentially, that gives just a master plans to where the pathway would go. And I believe that was required or is required
For a
for
grant.
some of the grant dollars that are
Yeah.
out there. So that would have to be appropriated in general fund because it's not part of the budget right now. And it's not on the agenda for tonight.
Is it,
So as long as council wants to go forward with it, I'll have a supplemental for next week. I'm sorry, next meeting.
Jeff said yes.
can we take it from the TIF money that we have to spend
No.
before? Okay.
No.
That money's running low.
I know it is, I know.
The second task order is a master plan for Minerva Lake Road,
Okay.
addressing the rest of Minerva Lake from Farview all the way to Cleveland Avenue. I'm trying to recall my conversation with Mike. I think there might be at least 4 phases to this. And the next one maybe 26. So we're still looking at
Is
potential
that-
for more OPWC money on it.
That's Farview to Ponderosa? No,
It
yeah.
might go to Valley. And I think the next one is
Okay.
Valley to East Shore.
Okay,
And then you get this section along here. The one that I feel would be the most expensive and the hardest is that intersection in Cleveland
okay.
Avenue.
It's a long.
Just because there's a lot of trees,
Yeah.
curb, storm drainage, so on. Anyways, each phase of Minerva Lake may qualify for OPWC money, which would be great. Sorry, I don't need the number out. For the phase that's forthcoming, right now we're looking at just shy of $1 million grant and a $100,000 loan.
Thanks.
So,
And we're still thinking 1.4 for that project?
yes, the rest of that would be, there's a water line in there that needs,
Right.
that I've got funds for that.
Right.
There's sanitary and storm, and I've got funds setting out there for those things. Okay, so they're all covered.
Nice.
I did not have to touch the permissive MDL money with the county engineer, so we'll save that for one of the next legs of the
Perfect.
park.
Perfect.
So,
Love that.
okay, I will have a supplemental for those 2 projects for next meeting, okay? And then the next item that I have is an update on the subpoena program with Rita. just a little reminder, there was 478 non-filer letters that went out last fall. When they mailed out the subpoenas, there's 413 of those that went out. Of the 413 subpoena letters that went out, 101 replied. 312 failed to reply.
Okay.
Okay? The subpoena letters, the non-filing letters generated a tax liability, including penalty and interest of $58,900. There is still $31,700 to be collected on that. The subpoena letters that were responded to generated a liability of $194,800, of which there's still $129,400 to be paid. Overall, there was only a 24% response to the subpoena letters, or in this case, 76 failed. So we are talking with Jesse, we are still looking at and trying to come up with how we're going to pull them into Mayor's Court for non-filing and work it from there. So I need to get a meeting scheduled with Jesse, myself, and Rita. We'll approach this, try to get it done, try to get this reduced and increase to 500.
That's a
One
lot.
other resolution or ordinance is on your agenda for tonight. In front of you is the amendments to the employee handbook. The yellow is the new language, the strike out of the old. What's attached to the resolution for adoption is a clean copy of that information. So this is just some cleanup language that had to be taken care of in there. If you've got questions on them, so they can answer them.
There will be additional updates to the handbook as we continue to move forward. These are just some of the ones that we actually knew were an issue right after we finished. There were some things that were missing from the old one that we thought were in the new one, and we have found that there are just clerical things. Again, you're going to see some of the things that are in there.
And part of it's just cleaning up some language too, to make it clear. There is one more that will be forthcoming probably next meeting. I'm waiting to have a conversation with Jesse. The handbook indicates that the FLMA, Family Medical Leave Act, does not apply to us. It does apply to us. Local governments were included in the requirement that it applies, period. So we need to fix that section that says it doesn't. And we need to figure out how we're going to implement and the time off that takes place in there. One of the things that was mentioned to me is make sure that time off that they use, that we pay, runs concurrent with the time that's allowed in FLMA.
FMLA, sorry.
Okay? So I'll be talking with Jesse, and we're going to get that one worked out. What's pushing this one is we have a request that seems to run right along this line, so we've got to get it cleaned up and addressed. Okay?
That's it?
Yes.
What is the reason for striking the 1 1/2 number out of the parentheses?
That should be the holiday bank.
Yeah, I mean, the number 2 is not stricken, but the number 1 1/2 is stricken.
You don't need to reiterate.
This is for overtime.
He's asking about the actual, like, it's struck out in 2 of the 3 times that it is mentioned as 1 1/2. Is it just because it's redundant? So maybe it's mentioned once and then you don't have to be redundant about defining what 1 1/2 means?
Oh,
Okay.
I missed that.
Meaning what?
You're on the first page?
Yeah.
I just missed that one.
Okay.
It's going to be, instead of writing it and printing it, it's, yeah.
1 is left in there. Is that just for the purpose of defining it once and then continuously striking it out? Because the first one, 1 1/2, is not struck out in section
No, I just
4.07 in
So,
A.
yeah,
And
why-
then, yeah,
why don't we have 2 stricken? Because,
I think the
just
first
for
one,
consistency, if you're striking out
correct.
the numbers 1.5, shouldn't we strike out the numbers 2 as well, just for
I can
consistency?
I can do that, yes.
Okay.
It's throughout the entire document, so it's just a matter of catching them all.
Okay.
Okay? But I just missed the first one there. Okay.
I think we should leave them.
Did you have-
Can we just leave them?
What
Because
what's the point?
I just, yeah.
Why were you doing that? Why were you striking them out?
I had to amend that section, so I was just cleaning it up.
So my concern with that, I think is, I share that probably with Jason, is that if, for the sake of uniformity in this document, it seems that 2 is not struck out, 10, 8. So why are we only striking out 1.5?
Yeah, I would probably just leave it.
Just leave it.
Unless there's a reason to do it, just leave it.
Okay.
Because it's probably easier to leave these 2 than to fix all the rest of them.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think,
I wonder if there's a way to make 1/2 the smaller characters.
Yeah, so it looks
I know
nicer.
that's a petty
I think there is a way.
grievance, but it's like, can we?
should be able to do it.
Yeah.
Anyone,
Just ask what you want and you will get it.
anyone have any?
Please.
Anyone else have questions on this? I have something else to
Go ahead.
Go.
ask. Okay, I'd rather bring it up here than in the other session. Last night at MPCA, Minerva Flora normally does the tree planting throughout the village. Every year they get trees donated through a grant. Well, the place that they get the trees from, their grant is not gonna be granted. And they are asking for a $2 donation per tree. The Minerva Flora has 300 trees on order, so it'd be $600.
If that is something that council wants to do, it can be done, and that would be, it's not in the budget right now. Although,
How much money is in the
are
Mary
those
Yost
trees to
fund?
be planted within the village?
Yes, in the green space.
Can we use the Mary
Can I
Yost?
come out of the Marios?
I seem to recall having some money appropriated for replacement of trees.
Was that in
Are
the?
Trees in general.
Are
was
these
that in
the stick
easement?
trees?
These are the little tiny trees that they planted.
Do we know
throughout-
that any of them have ever survived
Yes,
yet?
yes, I've actually walked.
I'm curious.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Lisa and I actually walked
Okay.
a lot of the green space, and she showed me where they were, and she said our survival rate is actually a lot higher than what they tell them it normally is, so.
That's all I
What
wanted.
is it?
And
Is the
if
Marios
and if we
one
don't
that
wanna
there's
do 600, we can change
Oh.
it, she just needs to know by tomorrow.
600 is easy. Let me look at what is in the budget for trees.
Okay.
And
Can I have?
if it's not a match, let me rephrase that. If the purpose doesn't match up, then I'll add it to supplemental for next meeting. Otherwise, I'll let you know and we'll take it out of what's in existence.
Well, she sent me an email today saying she has to let them know by tomorrow. So is there, sorry, I just got this, and I think she just found out as well.
We can't, 5 to 10 business days.
But doesn't it sound like it'll come from somewhere?
I think we have money in the Mary Yost Garden Fund, don't we?
For perennials.
For,
What?
for perennials.
Mary
Marios.
Yost?
There's,
I'm not sure Mary Yost qualifies.
I think we
I would
changed the
love to use
definition.
Mary Yost.
I think we changed the definition for it to qualify.
Can,
Can you look
I
into
know we
that?
were looking into that.
I think we did. Can you look into that? I'm pretty sure we tried to.
Jesse?
Where's Jesse? I think we did.
For some reason, I think that he found some of the family members, but there was problems trying to get in contact with them, and I don't think it got in for.
okay,
So,
I know we've discussed it, but
That would make our life easier. I don't know if we can do
I
one
think,
day
I
turnaround.
know we aren't voting. Is there anybody that has concerns about doing that?
No.
Okay.
No, I think it's a legitimate usage of,
Jason,
So at least you
Yes,
kind of
sir.
know what they think.
can you look into it and let me know
I'm gonna
tomorrow?
go, if there's nothing else that has to be, I'm gonna go look right now.
Okay.
for the answer, okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
That way,
Amazing.
Look at that.
perfect.
That would be absolutely incredible.
I'll be back.
Look at this. Teamwork makes the dream work.
I think, did anyone else have anything for finance?
Did you do that on purpose? No, I'm kidding.
No.
Okay, wait, this is
Goodbye.
recorded. Shh, don't say that. No, I'm joking.
I
Totally joking.
did say I would bring it up tonight, and
Absolutely. No, that's perfect. Now, we'll go find out. Did you have anything else about his legislation?
no, I'm good with it.
Okay. All right. He got kicked out, so we're done with him right now. So,
You got banished.
streets, Stacy,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
don't know that we really have much going on.
We don't.
I mean, I have a list of all of this that we'll read during Mike's report, but it's not really anything new.
No, it's not. It's
No.
the continuation of the same.
I almost just want to say that this is in our packet and it's online, but I will read a little bit of it because I do know people watch this and people do listen. But I'll do my normal, like, quick version of
It's not in the packet right now.
But it will be.
I got it after I
Yes.
left the office
Correct.
today, but I'll update it first thing in the morning, and the
Yeah.
online packet will reflect Mike's report.
Exactly.
Thank
So
you.
I'll just give a little brief bit of it. So, okay, so then
Sure.
let's keep moving.
Keep moving.
Services, JP, do you have anything for that?
Food truck.
No, not this time.
Food trucks, rolling.
Oh. So we had a couple mishaps with food trucks on scheduling, but we're doing pretty good on subbing and stuff like that, getting those dates filled. I believe everything's ironed out now, so we should be solid as far as the food trucks go. But if not, we have food trucks on standby in case someone does cancel or anything like that.
Nanado.
What happened with the no-show?
I'm sorry?
Double booked
The
himself.
no-show? Was that just a mistake, a clerical error?
That was, yeah, it was, she accidentally forgot to schedule.
Oh, yeah. I
That day.
saw
She
that.
wrote a very nice, apology letter.
I saw that
posted
post.
at the food club.
Yeah.
Well, I know
Okay.
that, it might be good for mentioning to people, just in case,
I
maybe.
don't have the actual.
Well, I mean, you could just say
Just say
you
words.
apologize. Or
Yeah,
so-and-so
just
reached out to
whatever.
me, they apologize.
Yeah, they reached out, they apologized.
Sorry for any hard feelings.
The hanger.
The hanger, yeah, the hanger. She was very apologetic. It was just a slight mishap, it happens to all of us. She's looking forward to coming back out and serve the village. So I'm very excited to have her come back.
Is she invited?
Yeah, of course.
This is probably a great time to start this, and I'm not putting you on the spot. This is just we're in a work session. We should probably start looking into leaf pickup. It's March.
Yep.
See if we can get somebody to start. I mean, obviously, we'll go to the first person that we used last year, but then we'll see if there's anybody else out there that's interested in doing it. Hopefully get at least 2 bids, but if we can't, then I assume that we may, I mean, we've had very good luck with the person that we've had the last
Yeah, I
couple
agree.
times.
Wonderful.
So, but maybe we need to reach out to him, and JP, if you want to do that, but you and I can work on it together over the next couple weeks. I mean, we don't need to do it today, but in the next couple weeks, we should probably start rolling on that.
What happened to the 3-year idea?
That is also something that we should do, is we should talk to him about a multi-year, so we don't
Yeah.
have to think about this every year. We do that with our trash, and we're good to go on that for the next 2 years. So we don't have to do anything with trash pickup, it's still just leaf.
I would like to suggest a 2-3 year.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
I didn't
agree.
have the blessing from council last time to do that.
Well, a lot of times we get good better deals that way, so absolutely, we should do that.
Just,
Okay.
yeah, just ask them if they would be interested.
You got it.
All right,
Anybody?
Rex and Park,
I don't have any.
we're buying pool memberships.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't have anything new since we talked last week, so.
I do have for you a couple people interested in potentially the concession thing, since we talked and I said I wasn't having any luck. John sent me one person and Barb has sent me one person, so I'm going to try to bring them both in, have a discussion with both of them and see where we end up. So, and FYI, I just got that from John maybe an hour ago, that he had somebody that was interested.
I let Jason know, you guys had talked at the work session about things not working right with the discount code. I went into the software and.
No, we didn't buy them yet. No, I'm joking. Did you miss that,
No,
Stacey?
didn't have.
I did, I didn't buy it.
No more double discount.
We could have gotten a double
Ah,
discount
shoot.
last. Tommy,
I did, I got the
I
last one.
know.
Here's a, I'm honest, I would rather save the
Your
pool.
bill is coming.
Oh, by the way, we're just gonna take it out
It's
of your
called an
pay.
appropriation.
Coming
No,
from
Wait,
thank
double
you for doing
discount?
that. Seriously, we are all kidding aside. Yeah, we just wanna make sure
Can you
that the
still
pool's
get a
successful. Yeah,
Okay. Can somebody sign me up and just take it out of my paycheck?
right?
It's
Can you do that for me,
We'll
Barb?
work for pool
Actually, I
membership.
shouldn't say, Jeff, can you just take it out of our paycheck? I think we should all be buying pool memberships.
Yeah.
I don't think we paid enough for that to work.
No, but
We
it's like
probably
3
don't.
months. It's like 3 months of work.
3 months of work to pay
Yeah.
for a pool membership. And that's, if your kids are going, it's like 6 months.
No, it's 6 months. I come
can
here
do it
for
too.
the, honestly, I'd probably make more money if you just gave me a free pool membership instead of actually,
Right? Exactly. Maybe we should think about that. Let's pay our employees and pool memberships instead.
it's fine. You can buy eggs with that.
You could persuade me for that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I can be bought.
That's
Much
bribery.
cheaper.
That
Ma'am,
didn't sound right.
ma'am, that's
Probably
bribery.
pretty true.
That's bribery.
All right, let's move on.
Okay.
Okay, so streets is good. Jason, if you come up with something here in the next few minutes, let us know. Again, we did all of these just a couple days ago, but let's go back to safety with Kathy.
Is it still safe?
I think the main thing is, do we have 2 open positions?
Yes.
Sorry, I can't
Yes.
retain that. And we have been interviewing and hopefully we'll have them filled soon. And that's probably the main thing on that one. We do have a quote to get the solar powered radar screen. We talked about getting another one and putting it somewhere else in the village, and know that the price has really only gone up like $130 in the past year. It seems worth it, and I'm not sure if we have to, if we're gonna vote on it, or if we have to, exactly how we get this approved.
Jeff will let us know whether or not we have money
Okay.
if we want to get another radar sign,
Yeah.
if we have money appropriated in a certain budget for that. So basically the same thing that we have down there at Minerva Lake Road. We haven't talked to Chief about it to see where he would want one, but council had thought maybe getting another one, because we had talked about moving this particular one.
Yeah.
But it might just be easier to get one more and place it in a different area. So maybe basketball court area or the other end of Minerva Lake Road, something like that.
I don't recall how much the last one was.
40, well, we just got a new estimate, 42, 46.
4246 is the estimate for this one. Last year, we paid 4115.
So
It's not bad.
I'm pretty sure we did not put anything in the budget
No.
for this year, so that would have to be a supplemental appropriation in order to get it.
Okay, but we want to talk to Chief first and make
Make
sure
sure
he
he
wants it.
Okay. And timing wise, if we could do it for next meeting, that would work.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll try to do it at the same time you do the other ones. Do you have anything else?
No.
Okay.
Ooh, how much are those signs?
How much are the
Yeah, what was the
radar
dollar
signs?
figure? Yeah, just for my
The
curiosity.
4246?
We just said that 3 times in a
I'm
row.
sorry, I didn't hear it. I heard some parts.
Selective hearing?
Yeah, sorry.
Selective.
I was busy meeting.
I know, right? All right, next, we have legislation. And David, do you have anything new? Anything coming up?
Don't forget.
Just a quick refresher on ordinance 25-04, what exactly supplemental appropriations are, and everything else I can talk through or remember, but,
He sent out an email this morning that went over all of those, but I don't know if he did a printout.
sorry, I was writing an email on my own, I must not
Like,
have seen that.
yeah, it's just the description of exactly what it is. So yeah, these are just the accounts, but he actually gave the descriptions.
Thank you.
I just have to rewrite my tree note.
Besides that, I think we should be okay.
Perfect. I actually don't have too much for this. Again, we'll go over all of Mike Flickinger stuff. I gave Kathy the AA safety, and thank you, Brian, for getting that for us. The Russell Tree and the Davies, we've sent a follow-up request to Russell Trees. These are the same tree survey quotes that we had. Yes, both of them are certified arborists. So again, we haven't made a final decision. I'd like to show, or at least get Mike Flickinger's input on, not necessarily the companies, but just making sure that we are in fact doing exactly what he would recommend that we do. Because again, I don't want to say that this is a step that we need to take for the Lakes project, but it's not part of the Lakes project, but it kind of is part of the Lakes project. So kind of is, kind of isn't, but it's still something that, it's going to need to be done. So I just want to make sure that this is exactly what he recommends. One of the biggest questions is, at one point he had said maybe going 10 foot from the bank, and then I think we had kind of talked about maybe 10 foot might be a little far from the bank once we start getting close to some of these residents' homes. So the other thing that we have is that we do need to talk to Jesse about before we move forward with any of this, is whether or not we're gonna have to get anything from all of the residents if we, depending on how far in they're going, whether or not we're gonna have to get permission from every single resident around the lake.
I was gonna say, we should just order whatever the easement is.
Yeah. So, and I'm sure Eric knows exactly what that is, so he might be able to answer that for us, but they had left last week, we had talked about that. We had talked about being able to ask him that. So, Eric will be here tonight, but Jesse will not.
Where is
So,
he? Yeah.
I was thinking about this last week. And, you know, in the MI section of the neighborhood, the resident that owns the property is responsible for the trees in the tree line.
Correct.
What is the difference between that and the trees that are in the easement around the lake? I am not saying that I want them to pay for it, but what's the difference?
There is none. You have a point. We are doing
I
those
mean,
residents a favor, a one-time favor.
In many ways, yes, we're doing the residents a favor that live around the lake.
Correct. And it
And
will be
I think
a
if-
one-time thing to
I think
save
if it
the
becomes an issue, you know, what's to say that,
Wow.
You have a great point.
look.
You do, yeah,
It's
yeah.
a huge amount of money, but.
Oh, it's a
what's
huge
the
amount of
diff-
money.
Really, what's the difference?
Well, now,
And I'm
and,
not trying to be ugly, because I
No.
know that's a
but,
lot of cheese and
and let's,
huge expense. but-
and I'm gonna back up just a tiny bit. As far as the survey goes, that's gonna give us the type of tree and this and that and all of that. So I think that needs to be a conversation that we have, that this is on this once we get this done, we're gonna know what trees are on what property and whose property and how many trees and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, maybe that's something that Eric and Jesse both can say, okay, legally you can, can't, whatever. Great question.
Are
I'm
they
not gonna answer
grandfathered in?
it, but for the survey, you're not, I mean, for this
Yeah.
part, I think we still have to do what we have to do, but that's a very valid point or question. And next week, when everybody's sitting out here, you can talk to them. I'm just joking.
I mean,
Bring a helmet.
would we say anything different along any of our other
No.
streets
No.
within the community? We've already did that little map where we were talking about things that are already in the easement throughout the neighborhood.
No, you're not
I
wrong.
think you have a very valid point, and I think we need to make it fair for everyone. I think that is definitely something we need to consider. I think it needs to be said that maybe it's a one-time thing.
I think we're all
We
just
can
processing it right now.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
When I pull up these Franklin County auditor maps and I measure these distances, like the shortest distance that you think is small is 17 feet.
Okay,
So I don't, when you guys talk about encroaching on easements, or I'm looking at property lines and I'm thinking, we're not even going to even come close to their
people's
property
property.
within 10 feet, so why?
when we get over there, I feel like there might be some
Okay.
that are in
I think
the
That's
lake.
our land. And that may be the case, I focus much more on
Okay,
this than I
no,
do
that's
on
fine.
that, and that's.
So
a
if we're
fair-
only talking about a handful,
Yeah, I think we could be thinking about something that may not be an issue at all.
right.
But let's cross the bridge when we get there, because I don't wanna have a,
I think that's a good, I mean, it's a good
Hour.
topic
Yeah.
to talk about. You're not wrong. No.
Are those accurate?
Okay, so then the other thing that I wanted to briefly talk about is we have had 2 people request to be on planning and zoning. I do plan on appointing, and as you can see, I don't have it listed on here as to who is getting which position because I've talked to a couple people. I'm gonna try to be,
It was eeny, meeny, miny, moe, wasn't it?
that's where I'm at. I mean, it's one of those that I looked at, who's lived in the village longer, who's done this. You know, this is planning and zoning. I don't want to say that, you know, qualifications is something that I'm, you know, I want somebody that's going to
You have-
be at the meetings. I want somebody that's going to give input. I want somebody that's going to do this or that.
2 great candidates, we can't pick
Yeah,
which
I mean,
one.
it's flip a coin. Both are getting on planning and zoning. One is just gonna vote and one is not. Now, you know, things can change and we've had so many change from non-voting to voting pretty quickly. So it's not to say that both of these couldn't be voting members within a certain amount of time, but my job is I'm gonna have to appoint one particular person.
Can I make a
Do it
suggestion?
Go for it. Do you want me to go ahead and flip a coin?
No, I want you to pick the person that applied first. Gets the voting.
New way to do it.
Can I chime in?
We can. JP recommended we put who's ever been in the village longer. Now, and I don't know if you guys kind of want to, I don't like it to be a popularity contest or
Right.
anything like that, so that's why I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about it first. I'm gonna say this, I've never seen either one of these in any one of our meetings. I don't think that that's a given point that you need to be. But I don't know, I've never had any of them in my understanding, I don't believe, let me rephrase that, I do not believe that I've seen either one, come to the meeting or come to any of the meetings, and that doesn't mean that they're not involved. I guess it's flip a coin still. It's, like you said, we could do who's been here longer, who submitted first, so I guess I'm looking for your guys' input. Do you guys have any?
Can I chime in?
JP actually does know both of them.
Let's make it come.
So I was just gonna say that I've actually got to meet, had the pleasure of meeting
Yeah, why don't we
both
just
of the
interview?
candidates that are being on PNC. Unfortunately, I've only got to talk to Mrs. Brown a couple times, but Mr. Cooper, we've actually spoken numerous times and got to ride around the neighborhood. This is gonna sound kind of mean, I wanna say pick Brandon only because I got to know him a little bit better, talking about the village and so forth like that, as well as he's been here a little bit longer. I don't know if that has any kind of sway, but maybe my recommendation to pick Brandon.
He is the one that does the community bike rides and things like that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so he does organize more community events.
And
That's what you're saying? In a way, he's more involved.
I couldn't hear that, I'm sorry.
Are you saying he's a little more involved because he has more community events?
I hate to say that, but I should say I've seen him at more community events and interacted with him.
And he's organizing the community.
It's not just
Yeah.
about the events, it's people that are engaged in the community and like,
Right.
And again, this is
Give him
what I'm
something.
I'm just
Nice.
randomly arbitrary.
And again, both are going to be on planning and zoning. It's just, you
we don't
know,
have a choice, you just want us to talk about it?
no, you have a choice. They're both gonna be on planning and zoning. One
Can we
has to be
just
voting.
No,
Can we just-
yeah, so we're picking for the voting member here.
Yeah, the only difference
we-
is one's gonna be voting.
Can we do a meet and greet?
We can, but
Can
we've
we ask
been,
them what they want? What if one doesn't even want to vote?
they both pretty much applied for, they both knew that there was that position open, either or. So I think it's one of those that,
Rock, paper, scissors?
Right.
right. The issue is do I have to appoint anybody tonight? No, not necessarily. We've been without a member since January, so we're now in March. And we have another meeting at the end of the month in which if we're able to get them to both come in, we could do that, but if they both can't come in at the end of the month, now we're in April. So it's almost one of those, and I'm not trying to shove this off on you, I obviously can make the decision. I don't want anybody to feel that they were, that we picked one versus the other based on this or that. Yes, one came in earlier, one, has lived here longer. Those are probably the two biggest things that I kind of had looked at as far as that goes. But then you start looking at, are they involved in the community? Do they do this? I don't know how much, my concerns are always the fact of making sure that they come to the meetings. You guys know how important attendance is at the meetings, because if you can't attend the meetings, then you don't know what's going on. So I don't have a crystal ball into that, from either one.
You can always move them around later.
And I guess that's the other part, we can always move them around.
Have you interviewed them? Or
I
just
have
the
not
letters?
interviewed them, I just literally have their recommendations, their letters of interest.
Okay.
So, and again, this is for, Planning and Zoning Commission, not that it's not important, but it's something that, we can do that. We can slow the process, we can interview both of them, we can do all of the above. Knowing that we had two positions open, I guess I was just kind of thinking, we'll put one in and then put the other one in, because they're both going to have a voice.
It would be
One's
good
just
if
gonna have a
they
bigger
came to
voice.
the meeting next week, so if you-
What's that?
It'd be good if they both came to the meeting next week. So
Right.
If the council would be so kind as to appoint them, then you can see how they are and talk to them a little bit.
Now, can I appoint them both to planning and zoning and not appoint one to a voting position, because we only have one voting and one
I
non?
believe you have to designate one as a voting position because our
That's what I thought.
code says one a non-voting. But again, if you speak to them next week, you both, assuming both show up.
Yes.
Right, and they're interested, and if one says, hey, I really don't want to be a voting member, I can't make all the meetings, and it's the wrong
Right.
one, you can come back to council
And switch.
next week and just have them switch.
Flip-flop.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if you guys, again, I was planning on doing this tonight. If anybody wants to, decide, if you guys want me to decide, I'm just letting you know, no, I've not interviewed either one. Because we did have 2 positions open and kind of like he's saying, we can always do that as well. If anybody has any thoughts.
What part of the village do they live in?
Same, they live like 2 street, I believe they live like 2 street. I think one is Minerva Lake Road and one's like Wildwood area. Or they're both right here.
Does that
I mean, I-
matter?
They're both in the old, I asked that too, they're both in the old section.
Okay.
One is Wildwood.
I'll go with what JP said. I mean, if he's met at least one of them, I'll take that. Judge.
Yeah, like I said, I met both of
But we
them.
can change them around. Oh, you met both of them?
Yeah, but I got to interact with Brandon a lot more. He was, like I said, on the bike rides, he had great ideas, seemed very creative. That's why my pick is Brandon. And being on P and Z, I don't know.
I'll go with
So
that.
again, they're both gonna be on there and then we can always do that as well.
I think we should just meet them and do a fair interview. You can't just be like, oh, I got 2 resumes, I'm gonna pick some, why can't we just do a little?
Usually has done in the past, it's at the mayor's discretion, as to the appointing, councilman can consent. Generally, the councils in the past have always consented to the.
It's always been easy in the past because I always tried to get somebody from the old section, somebody from the new section, and I kind of played around with it that way, and right now we're lacking people in the new section. So we have, if this would have been a new section person, none of this would have mattered, even if they just moved in last week, I would have gone with the new section. Because I like representation from different areas, so this has never been an issue. It's always been simple, because if I have 2, I automatically go with whatever I'm lacking. So, female versus male versus what, they're all similar. Like I don't have, this is the first time I've actually had a situation where I have 2 people, same area, same everything, and that's where we are. And we have a meeting Wednesday. And we didn't have a meeting last week. We were gonna talk about it last week and then we could have done, but it is what it is.
I guess what I'm saying is, like, if you don't, if it's typical and it wasn't hard to like make that decision, why don't you just talk to them, since we can't, you're having a hard time appointing them, instead of just doing it the typical way and not.
I think it's because it doesn't, and I don't take this wrong, I think it's because they're both gonna be on planning and zoning. I mean, it's kinda like flip a coin.
Okay.
I'm just hoping that, we've had so much turnover in planning and zoning as well.
So during the council meeting tonight.
Correct.
Are you going to,
That's what I'm asking, if you guys wanna do it or if you guys wanna postpone it. I guess that's where we are.
if you are.
Cause I'm going
if-
to appoint, I mean, yes, I will
If you
go
are
with
making a
JP's.
decision and
Yes.
presenting it in the meeting, then we can vote on it
Okay.
and be done with it.
And then you guys
If
can decide not to.
Want to wait, then,
Perfect,
It's up to you.
Right.
but
Mayor's
make the
discretion.
decision.
got it. All right, let's move on. That was the Davies, that's actually all I have then.
All right.
So, I think, does anybody else have anything before we go?
So we just need
Jack.
to.
I have an answer.
Oh. Uh-oh.
There's $2,500 in the budget for tree planting. I can easily take the $600 from that $2,500
Okay.
on this. What I ask is that in the meeting, you bring it up and make a motion to provide a donation to whatever organization that was.
Okay.
That way I have your permission to make the donation to that organization, and you can accommodate Lisa next week.
Wouldn't it have to be MPCA? Because they're the 501c3 and Minerva Florida's not?
They're, I don't think they're C3, if I remember right. They're
Well, but they're the, MPCA is the charitable organization and Minerva Florida doesn't have a charitable organization designation, right?
Correct, but whatever MPCA's designation is, they can't apply for grants or anything like that. So they always either tag into the village or find another sponsor.
The last time they tried the village, it got denied because they didn't like a local government. They wanted a
Yeah.
501c3, or
Right.
not.
Right, and I think that's the same thing with MPCA, they're not a 501c3.
No.
So,
Let me see if it's in my document that she sent me.
she just needs an answer by tomorrow, right, Jason?
Yes.
Will you give that to her?
Yes, I'll give her the answer.
Okay.
Oh, it's Green Columbus is the name of the organization. Green Columbus is who they get the native trees from. Oh, and I'm sorry, it's only 250 trees, so that would be $500.
If she can provide me with some of that information, Jason,
Yep.
I'd greatly appreciate it, okay?
Yep.
All right. Does anybody have anything else for this one so we can switch to the other one? No.
Real quick, Brady Oxender
Oh,
had
yeah.
messaged us. Do
Yes.
we read that during the comment section, or do we just allow that to be sent to us and acknowledge it, or?
It's just sent to you, council, there.
We're not able to attend, I just wanted to share this with you.
You sharing it as a comment to you, it's public record at this point. I mean, everyone on council has received it, so you're all aware.
Okay,
It's in the record.
perfect.
And then you can decide if you want, if that persuades anything, any direction of what you guys are either A, voting for, or anything like
We're on
that.
a second reading tonight, so.
There you go.
that- So we can discuss it
Mhm.
further.
Okay. You need me to stick around?
Nope. We're good to go?
Go have fun.
You are dismissed.
Go have fun.
Are we turning off the recorders?
Yes.
Are we adjourning?
Yes.
Yes, then we're gonna